Hey, what's up, chat? What's up, YouTube? It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia, Sunday morning coffee with you guys. Thanks for coming on board, and we'll get started here in a little bit. For those that are on right now, let me know audio, video good. I want to make sure. I told you guys last week I was going to set up this mic and use my soundboard. I tried to get that working this morning. For some reason, I couldn't get anything to work. I couldn't get the audio to work at all on it. So I might have to do a deep dive in that later on, but that's okay. Right now, we'll just keep on keeping on. I started early. I started an hour early because there's a YouTuber that I know that I've met before. I'm not like super close friends with him or anything, but he was doing a live stream um, anyway, and I wanted to do one later than him or earlier than him, but I I messed up, so we're overlapping, but that's okay. It's probably a different audience anyway. So anyway, whatever the case may be, let me know in chat if we're looking good and sounding good. All is good. Good. Okay, John. Um, let's get you on here. Welcome, John Balakwa. Thanks for joining. Um, he just started his live too. Oh, I think it's probably we got two different audiences. He's talking about one thing completely different than me. So um, today, the main thing I wanted to talk about today was tourism being down in Southeast Asia. I just read an article this morning that in the Philippines it's down too. Of course, Thailand's down a little bit. The only countries that are doing really well are Malaysia and Vietnam. And I actually sent out a message to a couple of YouTubers, one that's very familiar with Philippines, Rigby, and he's a friend of mine, and then Evan, who is in Da Nang, Vietnam. And I sent him a message this morning to see if they wanted to come on live with me today. We can talk about that and kind of talk, um, so-called expertise in each of their countries because Evan's pretty familiar with Vietnam and Rigby's familiar with the Philippines. He's lived there for over 2 years now, I think. So, but I wanted to um, see if they'll come on board, and I'll get them on. I think that'd be an interesting conversation to have. Um, Everything's okay, good. Thanks, John. Um, Other than that, I kind of wrote some stuff down as far as what we could talk about. Maybe like the future of this channel, as far as what you want to see my future videos. Now, I got a video coming out tomorrow about dating in Thailand, and I actually interviewed a couple of um, Thai girls, a few Thai girls, about what they look for in a foreigner and things that are a turnoff for them, things that are a red flag for them. So I'm going to post that video. I did that yesterday. I worked on it, and then I'll post it tomorrow morning. That'll post about 7 a.m. Thailand time. So um, that's one thing. But if you guys have any recommendations on what you'd like to see for upcoming videos, I thought about doing. Now I know Eager Expat Joe. He'll concentrate on one showy or one street on Sukhumvit, up and down Sukhumvit, and he'll talk about that, uh, general speaking. But I thought I'd do something more like just kind of random, maybe have you guys pick a number between 1 and 50 or whatever, and that number is the stop I'll stop on along Sukhumvit Road on the BTS, and I'll do a video on that, and I'll be looking for things on that street, on that in that area, things like finding street food, apartments and condo rentals, if that's a good opportunity there, grocery stores, malls, restaurants, and bars. It'll be like a scavenger hunt. I'll go to that spot and I'll look for those things and fill out my bingo card, so to speak. But let me know in the chat if you think that might be a good idea. If not, that's fine too. We can move on to something else. But otherwise, other than that and the tourism thing, the floor is open for you guys. Anything you guys want to talk about. I know I'm an hour earlier, so It may be an hour before people realize that I'm on. The normal, our locals are the ones that are on here every week. They may still be sleeping, or they may not be home from work or something if they're in the West. So, but that's okay. We'll just hang out for another hour until they come on. But let's talk a little bit about tourism, and I'll share my screen with you guys. Let me say, okay, what's back on? Any Thai woman who can afford to take care of me, please send JJ a message. I'm capable of helping make babies. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you're a donor, maybe. Okay. So let me share my screen. I want to talk about this tourism thing, and then we can get back into what's topic about about Thai women. I can kind of give you a little inside information on what the video is going to be like, so we can do that later on. Let me see. Let's go here and check this out. Okay, if you guys can see that, okay. So this is the AI generated report that I typed in tourism numbers in ASEAN countries in 2025. In the first 4 months of 2025, Thailand led in international tourist arrivals among the 7 surveyed ASEAN countries with 12.1 million visitors. Malaysia followed with 8.4, Vietnam at 7.7, Indonesia 4.3, Singapore 4.2, Cambodia 2.4 million, and the Philippines finished out last, 7th of 7 ASEAN countries at 2.1 million. Now, while Thailand is expected to attract 36 to 40 million international tourists for the entire year, it may miss its target of 35.5 million due to a slight decline in the first half of the year. Despite this, Thailand remains a popular destination with a strong focus on long-haul markets for revenue generation. So they're at 12.1 million for Thailand. Let me see, for the first 4 months. So that's going to be about 36 million if it continues in that trend, which is down. They originally were forecasting 40 million. Now they've lowered it to 36 or 37, something like that. So they may hit that new figure, but that's still a lot lower than what they originally were hoping for. But they still lead for international tourists, 12.1 million. But I tell you what, what's really been strong is Malaysia and Vietnam. They've really gone up in numbers. Let me get back to chat here real quick. Let's see. Simply Rocco. Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Rocco. And what says, JJ, I feel like you quickly dismissed. I'll come back to you. Don't worry. Just stick around. We'll come back to the dating scene. Don't worry. I'm not dismissing you. What? No way I'm dismissing you. So Malaysia's got a strong performance. 8.4 million visitors in the same period, the first 4 months, which is the first third of the year. Thailand's 2025 market was 36 to 40 million. It may fall a little short. Focus on long-haul markets. Thailand is prioritizing attracting tourists from long-haul markets like Europe and the Americas to boost revenue. Chinese tourism in decline. While China remains a significant source market, there has been a noticeable decrease in Chinese tourists arriving compared to previous years. Now, from what I'm understanding, Malaysia and Indonesia, their numbers are up in Chinese tourism and South Korean tourism. And part of the problem with the Philippines is that their numbers are down in those two countries, China and South Korea, because of some recent crime activities going on perpetrated against Chinese and against South Korean. So this article here, let me see if I'll bring it up. Hold on just a second. Share this one. Oops. Okay, so this article called Philippines tourist arrivals continue to fall in April on significant declines in China and South Korean visitation. Um, you can follow along here. Philippines tourist arrivals continue to show small year-on-year declines in April 2025, with a total of 450,493 arrivals, representing a 2% drop from the same month last year. According to information from the Department of Tourism, April visitations took the year-on-year drop for the first 4 months of 2025 to 0.83%, up from 0.5 in Q1 of 2025. The result includes a 3.2% decline in foreign visitations. But if you read further, it's like it saw the visitor arrivals from China and South Korea continue to drop. However, key markets from Australia, Japan, Canada, United States showed solid year-on-year growth, while those in Taiwan, Singapore, and Malaysia suffered declines. So it looks like the Western countries are visiting the Philippines at a good rate, but not the Asian countries, not so much the other Asian countries. So it could be an economic thing. More people are staying home or closer to home, because it sounds like from things I've read that Chinese and South Koreans are traveling more to Malaysia and Indonesia rather than traveling to the Philippines. So maybe it's because it's a little closer to home, a little easier to get to. You know, with the Philippines, it's tough because it's an archipelago country. So it's really difficult to get around. And the article I read, I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it again. But the article I read was basically talking about a couple of things that are the issues with tourism being down in the Philippines. One is infrastructure. It's just hard to get around. And being an island nation, you've got to hop around, and it's expensive. The expenses are high. I mean, just flying from one island to another has become as expensive as if you wanted to fly from, say, Thailand to Vietnam. I mean, I could fly from Thailand to Vietnam for $50. If you fly from one island to another in the Philippines, it could cost a lot more or as much. So there's that issue, and then you've got to take buses and ferries and other means of transportation to get where you want to go. So it's just a little harder to get around. The infrastructure is bad. And another thing they pointed out in this article that I couldn't find was that the Philippines really doesn't have a capital. The capital of the Philippines isn't really a good option for a tourist destination like Bangkok is in Thailand, or Kuala Lumpur is in Malaysia. Okay, so I unplugged it and plugged it back in. Let me know if that, I'm no tech guy, so that's the first thing I do is just shut it off and turn it back on and see if that helps. So it's good now. Okay, maybe I just didn't have it pushed in all the way. Robo voice. I'm on AI. I'm completely AI now. Okay, let's see. Get through all this. Let's get caught up. It's good now. Okay, good. Good to go. Okay, that's good. Glad to hear. See, I unplugged all this when I plugged that mic in and tried to set everything up, but I must not have got it plugged in all the way. So thank you. Thank you, chat, for keeping me up to date on everything. So do we need to start over with everything, or are we good? Did you answer my question? I would like to hear what your thoughts are. Interviews. Yeah, I did, about the interviewing other expats here. Yeah, I want to do that. It's like the people I hang out with, they're not really interested in being on YouTube, being interviewed. So it's sometimes it can be difficult. to find people to interview. But I will definitely try. I will definitely try to get people on. I think that would be interesting. Um, the issue I have is whether or not people would actually watch those interviews or not. And the alcohol question, John, yeah, exactly. Well, like I said earlier, I said I try to limit limit my going out to a bar with buddies one night a week, and then just minimal drinking. I never get drunk. I never drink that much. A couple of pints is usually my limit. I'm usually home by 9 or 10, so I'm never out real late. I think the last time I was out, um, I was listening to live music, and I just barely made it home before the train stopped running at midnight. So I was home by midnight, and that's the latest I've been out. I can't remember when. So I'm not a big partier anymore. Those my party days are pretty much over. Um, those ended quite a while ago. Um, I like good food. Um, hanging out with a couple of friends over a beer or two, going to watch good live music, and that's what's great about Bangkok. There's so many great live music scenes around here that you can't really go wrong if you love live music. I was at Hillary 3 down on Sukhumvit 11. I think it was 11 or 13. I can't remember. I was there the other night, 2 nights ago, and listening to a pretty good band. They were really good. And then last week I was at and I can't think of the name of the bar, but it was a really neat Black Cabin, Black Cabin, um, and they had a really good band on there that was playing a lot of music from the '90s, a lot of grunge and things like that. So that was a really neat night with a few friends, like 3 or 4 of my friends were there with me. So that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Let me see if we can get caught up here. Just be careful who you interview. Certain YouTubers provoke trolls. Yeah, you're right. I have my share of trolls. I wear it as a badge of honor. You know, I One of my mentors when I was working, I started working at this university, and I started after a while. I started getting complaints from other people that were in the same position as me, and my supervisor, who was my mentor, basically told me, he goes, you're doing the right thing when others are complaining about you. So I look at when you become, you've hit that first stage of being successful on YouTube when the trolls start coming out. So that's what I look at. So I got a few trolls of my own, so it's kind of fun. Some of them I'll let the comments slide as long as they're not being like super critical or super demeaning or to me or even anybody else in the comment section. Um, or if they're not being abusive or threatening or anything like that, I'll let them slide. If they've got a difference in opinion, that's fine. Go ahead, state your case, but do it in a respectful, adult way. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So let's see. Same as I am older, I prefer to show a band and a good meal. Not so much alcohol. I agree. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, my thing is, if I know I'm gonna be out with the guys and have a few beers, I want to hydrate too. So I might I might alternate a beer with a water, and at the end of the night I'll have 3 bottles of water and 3 glasses of beer, and then I'm pretty good. As long as I feel okay the next day, that's the worst feeling. If you go out and overdo it, and the next morning you feel horrible, that's I don't ever want to feel that again. And it's been so long, but I never want to get to that position again. So, um, but what do you guys think about the tourism issues? Do you think it's a cause for concern for these Asian countries, or do you think it's just kind of a temporary setback and maybe a reset? I think maybe kind of might be a reset to the post pandemic. issue, because during the pandemic, obviously nobody was traveling. And then after the pandemic, it looked like things were really moving up. And maybe now it's kind of settling back into a more of a norm. Um, Drinking is probably prevalent in the outskirts and countryside. Nothing else to do out there if you don't have your own internet business. Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of things to do. My buddy, he wants to get me involved in pickleball. He's big on pickleball. He plays like 2 or 3 times a week, and he goes to different levels of pickleball expertise, I guess. I want to get the number one level, the lowest level, the beginners, the novice. And he was going to go today, but I told him, it's like, I can't go today because I've got this stream. But this week I will definitely go. I've been talking about it for a while, but I will definitely go this week and take up pickleball. What happened to Tim K? Looks like he deleted his channel. All right, so here's what I did a little digging into that, and this is my theory, and I don't have anything to back this up on, nothing, no solid facts, but I think he sold his channel, because if you look up his channel, you can find the URL, you can find his channel, but it's listed under a different name, a different title for his channel. But he's still got all his subscribers, like over 100,000 or whatever subscribers. And you can sell your channel. I've been approached by a brokerage firm. This was a couple of months ago, that were offering to buy my channel. And I looked it up, and I Googled it. It's like, how much is a channel with 10,000 subscribers worth? And basically, they look at your views and subscribers, and they extrapolate that to what that would look like in 12 to 36 months, or 1 to 3 years. And then they basically give you a number, a range number, as far as what your channel is worth. My channel wasn't worth very much, so it's like, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell it till it gets to 6 figures, which is probably never going to happen. So, but with his channel, I mean, he's got 10 times the number of subscribers I do. So he probably, if he did sell it, which I think he did, he probably got a pretty good number for that, pretty good amount. So that's my theory. I have no proof, but that's just what I think might have happened. That is throwback grunge. That's so funny you say that's a throwback, because to me, throwback is the Beatles and the Stones and Led Zeppelin. That's throwback. Nirvana doesn't sound throwback to me yet. It's too soon, even though we're talking 30 some years. I mean, it's crazy when we get so old we don't think about that. So yeah, but they did play some Nirvana. They played Soundgarden, I think. I can't remember all the songs they were playing, but it was good. They were playing some stuff from the mostly late '90s and early 2000s. But it was pretty good stuff. They were very good. The lead guitarist was excellent. I think I videotaped him. I might do a short on that. I'm a troll with a good heart. Well, good for you. Thank you. Thank you for being kind. Expat Gazaz says, I made it here almost on time this time. Yeah, I'm an hour early, so sorry about that. So, but thanks for coming on. Rigby's on. Good morning, JJ. Chiang Mai is nice today. We are going zip lining in the mountains this week. Awesome. Good for you. Hey, I sent you a message on WhatsApp to see if you wanted to come on my stream and talk about the Philippines, because we're talking about tourism being down in the Philippines too. And I thought maybe you can be the expert on that. And I want to be the neutral arbitrator of all things Southeast Asia. So I'll give you a chance to. I can put the link on here, and then you can get on. Water is a good way to avoid a hangover. Yeah, the theory is that booze dehydrates your brain. Yeah, I don't think that's a theory, expat. I think that's pretty much the truth. But yeah, Rigby, let me know if you want to come on. And then I also invited Evan from Evan. I think his channel is called Evan A. EHA. I think he must be Canadian, A. That's his channel, but he's in Vietnam. And so, their numbers are up. And I wanted to, maybe we could get a forum going and talk a little bit about what things are like in tourism in Southeast Asia. Not 100%, but it can help. Definitely can help. Yeah. 100% would be not drinking any alcohol. That would be the 100%. Your favorite Kuya says, I think it is a concern. I see many YouTubers from Thailand mentioned bomb attempts there. I'm not sure if the Philippines or Thailand is the move. Vietnam is looking good, and Malaysia. Yeah, so here's what's going on with Thailand with those bomb attempts. There's some extremist, I believe they're Muslim group down in southeast Thailand that's trying to make some waves. And so they hired basically they're teenagers. They hired these teenagers to try to plant bombs in Phuket, which is a big tourist area, but they all got caught and then they confessed. It's like, this is who told us to do it and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's a small group trying to flex some muscle. I think that'll pass. I don't think it's going to be a big thing. There's also skirmishes with Cambodia, and there was talk earlier about Thailand going to war with Cambodia, but I think those are kind of settling down a little bit. So I think that's okay now. And then of course the prime minister and the trouble, the hot water she got into, and the talk about another coup in Thailand, which happens about every 10 years, it seems like. The last one was 2014. But those things really, I mean, the coup things, it really doesn't affect expats so much that I can tell, or that I've heard from other expats that have been around a while. Things just kind of go on. There may be a little dip in services for a short period of time, but then everything gets back to normal after a while. So I don't really know that it's going to be a huge issue. But you've got that issue in the Philippines too, with all the kidnapping, and that's why China and especially South Korea, that's why their numbers are down, because they've had a lot of Koreans lose their life there from violence, and a lot of kidnapping too. So that could be an issue for the Philippines. In Spain, people have had enough of tourism. 100 million tourists a year is far too much, especially for cities like Barcelona and Seville. Wow, 100 million. Yeah. Well, the problem with Europe and in the U.S. is that they come as tourists basically, and they stay. They're illegal immigrants, and they just stay, and they're no longer tourists anymore. Spain, the UK as well, right? Yeah. Portugal is about to be on the same boat. They are reconsidering their golden visa program. Wow. So is the golden visa program, that's an expensive program though. So is Portugal getting a lot of people from that? Or is that just, when I hear golden visa, that sounds like an expensive retirement visa. I could be wrong. I've really never looked into going to Europe, so I don't really know. Tourism has way changed this year. I have all the new stats this week, different types of people coming. We can't live in our favorite year of the past. We live in as the world is today. Yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier. I don't know if you were on, but I think, with after the COVID, after post pandemic, things started booming when people got a chance to come to other countries. It just went way up. Everything was way up because they were, for 2.5 years, they were dying in their own country, just eager to get out. And now it's kind of dropped down. So I think it's leveling off to more of a norm. This is more the norm than what we saw in 2023 and 2024. Let's say platforms like Flippa and Motion Invest are related to selling channels, FYI. Okay, yeah, it might have been one of them that contacted me. I'm not sure. Flippa does sound familiar, so that might have been it. I lived in the middle of the grunge scene in Seattle. Wow, you were right there. Cool. The only group from Seattle that I really liked was Heart, but that ages me. Um, yes, I've heard Lisbon is in ruins. Oh, wow. You were sleeping. You want to come on? Let me know. Did you did you message me? Okay, so let me put my. Hang on just a second. I'm going to put the link on here, and that way. There you go. So go to that link, and then I'll invite you into the stream. Let's get back to where we were. RE tourism, I think the Asia novelty is wearing off, plus Philippines' reputation is on a decline. For various countries, it is a haven for scammers setting up shop from various countries. Yeah, that's part of it. Part of it also is just the infrastructure is not where it needs to be. It's not up to par with other Asian countries. Um, what else? Cost is going up there. It's just hard to get around. So yeah, crimes are way up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hello again from Montana, U.S. Thanks for coming on, Mark. Mark B. I may miss some stuff waiting for the ads to finish. Oh, those damn ads, paying my bills. Oh, by the way, we're just getting really close to 16,000 subscribers. I think we're. Let me look here. I was just looking this morning. Um, I'm at 15,000. Oh, we're right about 300 away. 300 away from 16,000 subscribers. So that's pretty awesome. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Get me to that. That'd be kind of neat. A Malay extremist always was dodgy, right? It's always something. Isn't that the truth? It's always something. Uh, I said that to myself today when I was trying to set up these mics, this other mic back here, and it wasn't working. It's like it's always something. And then I'd set it up, and then my computer screen wouldn't work. So I'm thinking, what the heck now? It's like it's always something. Nothing ever works right around here. Let me get caught up with chat, and then I'll bring Rigby on. Let's see. The silent truth is that Asia Pacific is the epicenter for World War III with China's involvement. These things are brewing subliminally. You could be right. I mean, but there's so much going on. It's not just Asia Pacific. I mean, look at what's going on in Israel with Iran, and look what's going on in Ukraine and in Eastern Europe. So it could pop up anywhere. You just never know. But things are a little rough in the world right now. Angeles City is the hotbed. Unfortunately, lots of scams for leftover pogos. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to come on. Okay, so yeah, I see you in my queue, so I'll put you on in just a second there with me. Stay safe and be prepared to return to the U.S. Or somewhere. Maybe I'll just go to Morocco, go to Casablanca, and open up a cafe restaurant there, like Humphrey Bogart did in Casablanca, my favorite movie. Um, it was geared for pensioners. Yeah, now they're making it harder. All of Europe, all of Asia is making it harder for people to retire here. Cost of living abroad pod. Oh, okay. Hey, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Let's see. Portugal does have a nomad visa. Portugal did attract a lot of crypto tax avoidance of questionable people. Okay. Yeah, the nomad visa in the Philippines is I think that's kind of backfiring. I'll see what Rigby has to say. Um, can't come on screen right now. Sorry, I got my kids here. Oh, okay. Well, that's okay if you don't mind. I mean, if they're running around screaming, that's okay. I don't care. Unfortunately, they are about to allow Indians in the Philippines. I'm skeptical if more scammers will be there. Cebu has been a hub lately for that. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's just Indians. I mean, I think if you look at the Chinese they kicked out. Look where they were doing with all the pogos. Um, Dave says, "Hi JJ, how are you?" I'm great, Dave. Thanks for coming on. Did you recover from your hand sprain? My hand sprain. My hand sprain. Well, I broke my fingers. Is that what you mean? Look at that. I haven't fully recovered. I don't have full motion in those two fingers anymore, but they don't hurt as bad as they used to. So, hey there. I was amazed by the great info you shared about Thai culture, food, and lifestyles. Thanks. I appreciate that, expat. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to do a video on Thai dating from the experts, from the women. Yes, I saw the Phil's investment visa for 75K. In Japan, you can start your own company for 35K. Wow, cool. I'm retired. I don't want to start a company. Living the dream in California. Okay, Phil. Phil is he's another one of my friendly trolls, but he always has good takes. With spotty internet is no viable for someone long term. Right, you're talking about the Philippines, yeah. So let's bring Rigby on. So hey, Rigby, let me know if can I hear you? Let me talk.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on. You're good. Okay, so
Okay.
Rigby, tell me what your channel is, Rigby.
Oh, yeah. Rigby
Oh
and
wait,
Claire. I
Rigby and
changed
Claire
it. Yeah, it
again.
was Rigby's Philippines life, but I was touring around the Philippines, living in the Philippines. But with the new law in the Philippines targeting YouTubers, I just decided uh, better to change the channel name. And until all that cools down, I'm in Thailand and KL, Vietnam, Malaysia for
There,
the next little
I'll give
bit.
you a plug. Rigby and Claire. Is that right? I
Yeah,
spelled Claire right with a E. Okay, so let's
yeah.
talk about tourism a little bit. So the articles I read this morning that tourism is down in the Philippines, and it's mainly because Chinese and South Korean um, numbers are way down. And it's kind of like in Thailand too. Chinese tourism is way down. So, what's your take on that?
Well, just my opinion. Yeah, everything's anecdotal. I'm a Westerner. I'm an American, and so I walk around and I do American things. And so, and I don't really believe in these stats. I was reading, a lot of these stats. Where do they come from? What do they mean? Um, but just my experiences would be in the Philippines. I just went down to Bacolod, and I kept filming it and doing everything. I'm like, I don't think anybody but foreigners lives in my four towers in Bacolod, because that's all I see is just white Americans. I just kept running into them. It's all Americans with their Filipina girlfriends, just 1,000 of them. And
Right.
everywhere I went in Bacolod which is Negros Occidental, I think,
Mhm.
about 6 hours north of Dumaguete. So you're talking expat heaven, where they tend to migrate to, the longer term guys, SRRB types, and one of the areas. And so Bacolod was packed with Westerners. And so, does it really matter to me if Chinese and Korean are not there? When I went into Starbucks or went into wherever, always another foreigner in there. Always, not always, but if I'm in Starbucks, I would say at least six or seven other foreigners would walk in. They may not stay at all at one time, but always foreigners. Everywhere I went in Bacolod in May was foreigners. We went over to Iloilo, and I was joking that somehow they made it illegal for anybody but Americans to get onto the into the hotel,
Right.
because the lobby was packed with white people. And that's the only way I can really designate, like you're saying Koreans and Chinese are down, or how do I know
Well, that's
what's really
right.
Korean, Thai, Chinese? I don't know.
But me being the neutral arbiter of all things Southeast Asia, um, with all those Westerners you're seeing in your area, they may live there already. So they wouldn't be counted as tourists per se.
Well, that's
Um,
what I was going to say, though the stats can be misleading, because I heard the Philippines counts tourists, people like me. I had 24 monthly, tourist renewals. So I count as 24 tourists.
So,
I don't,
so being on a tourist visa, every time you renew, they count you as a new
that's
tourist.
that's what I heard. So where are these stats coming from? Are they plane rides? Are they, what are they? You know, that's where I don't know what they're counting. Are they counting government stats, which they can just manipulate like that?
That's what's so
Or
funny about the Philippines. Let me catch up on chat here real quick. What says the male to female ratio is beginning to lean your way in the Ukraine? Oh, that's horrible. Dave says, "Wow, I'm looking forward to your next video about Thai dating." Um, Thai, TIE. Is that a play on words? That should be interesting. Um, Evan says, "Tell me more about this law. It's no filming in public." All right, we'll get into that in just a second. Let me get caught up here. Hi, Rigby. Good idea. Keep it general to appeal to a larger audience. The cost of living abroad. Pod, the answer is yes. 50K peso fines for bloggers. Let's see. Oh wow, in Da Nang it is a very small area with American and Western expats, all Korean, Taiwanese, and Japanese, and still mostly Viets. Yeah, when I was there in February, I saw a lot of Russian backpackers, a lot of them. I don't know if they're still there or not, but in the area where I was living in An Phuong, that's a huge backpack area. So 99% Vietnam locals and domestic tourists. Oh, okay. Um, thanks, Expat Pizzazz. There's more to it. JJ will cover it all. Yeah, I will cover it all. So let's kind of pivot. Let's talk a little bit about the laws, why you changed your channel, and the laws or the regulations or whatever they want to call it in the Philippines about blogging in public, about videotaping in public. It pretty much just pertains if you're monetized, but how does one know in the Philippines if somebody that's videotaping or videoing in public, if they're monetized or they're using it for their vacation footage or what? So it's like, oh yeah, there's a larger community of Russians in An Phuong. I was including Russians, Ukrainians as Westerners. Yeah, right, gotcha. Okay, but so it's such a vague, it's such a weird circular they put out that I can't believe that they're going to really enforce it for very long, if they do enforce it at all. I think it was just to appease the public because of the public outcry with the Vitali issue. And if you're not familiar with him, he's a Russian. Um, he's a Russian American, but I don't claim him as an American. He's a Russian that went around. His whole big thing was live streaming and raising hell with the locals, and he did that in the Philippines, and he got in trouble, and he's still in prison, waiting for deportation, waiting for his trials, which could be up to two years before he even goes to trial. So I think the public outcry from that was what instigated this circular that came out that basically said you can't video in public unless you blur everybody out and mute their audio. Is that kind of what you're seeing, Rigby?
yeah, yeah, definitely. And the problem isn't the government enforcing it, it's that you have to keep track of everybody that's complained to you. You have to notify in your videos how to for them how to notify you. You have to keep track of any complaints asking about it. You have to notify the government. You have to register who you are with the government. It sounds like, just a really bad exercise in what to do on the internet.
Yeah, and
You
what's
know,
to keep you from if you're not living there, if you're just there for a couple of weeks and you want to make video content, let's say Patty Doyle, who's got a huge channel and he's based in Thailand, but he goes all over Asia and he also goes into Europe too. What if he goes into the Philippines and he's there for a month and he does all these videos and then he posts them when he gets back to Thailand? How are they going to police that? He's gone already. I mean, what are they going to do?
well, they could blacklist him, so maybe Patty doesn't care. That's
But
where
but
you get
blacklisting
into.
is like, how are they going to blacklist a guy that's going out there? saying positive things about the Philippines. I don't think they're
Yeah.
going to do that. But my
No.
biggest worry is if a troll or a local just doesn't like you and they know you have a YouTube channel, they turn you in, and then especially if they're a local, it's always the Filipino uh, is the one that gets the upper hand on the foreigner as far as anything legal. So that's my biggest concern as far as, if somebody just has a vendetta on you, they can just turn you in. And if they have any little piece of evidence that shows that, oh, he's got me on his channel and he didn't take it down or whatever, then you could get into trouble. But I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. There's certain areas of Philippines that don't like Americans that you don't go to. They're now all empowered to say, I was in your video in Boracay. I mean, how are you going to know? They can make it up. And then you're going to
Right.
go to a local Boracay judge. I mean, a local Mindanao judge in their Boracay or in their barangay, and go up against that. And
Right.
in the Philippines, it's not about if you're right or wrong. The process is your nightmare. Um,
It's
so
about how much
it's
money you have to
and how
pay
much
off
money you have to
everybody.
pay it off. Yeah.
Right. So Expat Pizzazz says, I heard you have to register your channel in the Philippines. Is that true? Supposedly, but how are they going to police that? I mean, that's another bag of worms. It's like, what the heck? How are they going to know? First of all, if you come into if you're flying into Manila or Cebu or wherever, how are they going to know you're a YouTuber or a, you know, content creator, um, to make you have to register? And then even if they think you are, I mean, I don't think they legally they can do that if you're not registered as a content creator in the Philippines. I mean, but I don't know. They can always deny you entry, I guess, but
I don't know. I don't know if it's really targeted all this because how would you know Vitali's there for 2 weeks and then he leaves? But the law did talk about like security guards can't be live streaming their 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 body cameras. CCTVs can't be posted outside of nightclubs and schools and live broadcasting that 24/7 for monetary gain. So maybe it's really not so much for the guy that comes in for 2 weeks and leaves.
well,
Like
my thought is what they should have done was just there's already laws in the books about you know conducting yourself in public and not being a nuisance, and obviously there are because Vitali's up for those charges, right? So
yeah,
just crack down on the bad actors, the bad vloggers that are doing those things. Like there's some in Anglo City, there's some in Dumaguete, there's some, they're all over. But those are the ones that you just need to crack down on. And once you crack down on them, it'll stop. All the bad things will stop because you're really cracking down on what's going on there. And I'm not talking about the guys that come in. Vitaly's problem was he stayed too long. He came in, did all this crap, and then he stayed, and he was telling everybody where he was staying, so everybody knew where he was at, so it was easy to find him. But I'm talking about the guys that live there, whether they're on an extended tourist visa or whatever, but they're doing YouTube videos, and they're demeaning to locals. They're exploiting their plight. Whatever the case may be. Those are the ones that need to be taken care of. And you start doing
well,
that. When you
yeah,
start doing that, and then everybody's going to fall in line and start being okay then.
they were just overly broad. Like the US and many countries have the take it down laws now. So if you're cyberbullying, if revenge, on your ex, posting some private videos, all of these cyberbullying humiliation videos you can take down now. So I think it's somehow theirs was just too overly broad. They wrote it very poorly. And that's their problem, I think.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's typical. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction 50,000 peso fine is about 883 US dollars. So, so they can just pay the fine, I guess. Yeah, but then who's to say somebody else is going to, if a Filipino turns you in and you pay the $883, then their brother turns you in a second time and you got to do it again. So you just keep feeding the pig there, and when does it end? But anyway, so let's get back to now. I'm all caught up on chat, so let's get back to the tourism thing. Yeah, well, actually, before we go there, let's talk about the Philippines started their digital nomad visa, and then right after that, they put out the circular. It just seems like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing half the time in the Philippines.
I think that's true. And then the circular did not go through a legislative body, so the circular could just be a small group of people that wrote something and stuck it out there, and so I don't think it was a coordinated plan at all.
Yeah,
but they're definitely not going to attract digital nomads doing YouTube. I can tell you that.
No. Exactly what is the digital nomad thing? What are the requirements for being a digital nomad in the Philippines?
Well, I just woke up, so I'm not sure if I can remember it, but it allows you to do a 1-year visa, and the basic benefits of it are just that you don't have to pay taxes there. You're allowed to work there. So it's got some of those benefits to it, and the 1-year visa extendable up to a second year. And but it's mainly, I think, for the purposes of just knowing that you're secure there for a year and that you're not going to have taxes and you can do that work. So, it's
you work in the Philippines like for a Philippine employer.
No, you have to be working for a non-U.S. company or have non-U.S. clients. You have to prove payment is coming from outside the Philippines.
And it doesn't count. U.S. residents they're not. They aren't qualified, right?
I don't know. But the U.S. has tax treaties with the Philippines, so everybody's kind of confused on a lot of these things Philippines is doing right now. Same as Thailand, but like, what does it mean when you say you're going to tax people when we have tax treaties so that you can't tax us?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to get Evan on too, because he can give us some insight on Vietnam. Vietnam numbers are up. So when I looked at the numbers, out of 7 ASEAN countries, Philippines ranks last of all 7 in tourism numbers for the first 4 months of 2025. Thailand is number 1 at 12.1 million. Malaysia is second at 8.4. Vietnam comes in third at 7.7. Then Indonesia with 4.3 million. Singapore at 4.2 million. Cambodia at 2.4 million. And then the Philippines at 2.1 million. So,
but the
even
Philippines,
though Thailand's numbers are down for the year, they still lead all ASEAN countries.
It depends, though. I personally think it's more personal to you as to whether you think how tourism is going and if you want it to be good or bad, because Philippines will still lead this year in. I'm an American, and it's got American retirements. It'll still lead in long-term retirements. It'll still lead in marriages.
Right, but we're not talking about retirement. We're talking about tourism.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
I mean, and how would I know who's who? I'm just saying, you know, uh, yeah, I guess I can see that for nightlife and different things. Tourism matters.
well, the article I read, and this was from a Filipino, he said the reasons why tourism isn't taking off in the Philippines is, one, it's just the infrastructure's bad compared to other Southeast Asian countries. It's just hard to get around, hard to navigate around there. The cost
Yeah.
is higher than a lot of other countries. Um, what else did they say? Oh, I can't remember now what it was. I tried to find the article, but I couldn't find it. But those are, oh, and because the violence against the Chinese and South Koreans, that's why their numbers are down, because they're afraid to go there now. But mainly is the infrastructure getting around, and the cost has gone up compared to other countries, and also compared to bang for your buck. It seems like the Philippines offers less, but you pay more. I mean, yeah, they got beautiful beaches, but it seems like the cost is higher than a lot of other ASEAN countries.
Yeah, and they're just hard to get to. I mean, where would you go in the Philippines that compares
Hard
to
to get to.
Phuket?
Yeah, yeah,
Where
it's
would you
hard to
go?
get to because it's an archipelago island or nation. So you've got
Yeah,
all
you
those
not.
islands. Oh, and the cost of yeah, and I was talking about this before. It's like the cost of flying from one island to another in the Philippines is just as high as it is to travel from, let's say, Thailand to Vietnam, or maybe even higher. Um,
Hmm.
they're they're just it's all the charges that seem to be going up in the Philippines, and I don't know if they should be regulating that or what if they even care about um, tourism or I'm not sure. Oh, and the other thing was that the Philippines is the only ASEAN country that doesn't offer a lot for tourism in their capital city, Manila. Manila doesn't offer much, whereas
No, very.
Bangkok does, um, you know, Kuala Lumpur does. Manila doesn't have that that tourist intrigue that a lot of other countries, the big capital cities have.
Oh, definitely. I don't think. I don't really think of Philippines as being a tourist destination too much. Just scuba diving, people do. Um, but worldwide travel. Where would you? Do you just go to Palawan? What else? What? Why else would you travel the world to go there? But geopolitics. They're purposely trying to get the Chinese out. They've been doing it for 2 years now, and they just got rid of the 6 month visa. They just got rid of the 3 month visa, and it's because they had tourist visas. They had all these Chinese there, and they've switched from being friends with China to friends with America. You know,
Well, and
um,
then we'll see how that works when Marcos' term is up, and if
yeah,
Duterte gets back in, then
yeah.
they'll go back. They'll swing the pendulum. Will swing right back to China. So we'll just have to see what happens in a couple more years. So let's see. The U.S. is keeping the Philippines from getting popped like a pimple by China. Yeah, right now. Um, our relationship with Vietnam is growing stronger. Yeah, I heard that they're doing a trade deal with Vietnam, which is awesome. And they've got scheduled talks with Thailand too to do a trade deal. So things are starting to open up, and maybe that'll help too. I keep looking at my Amazon and how much the import fees are to all these countries, and they're just crazy. Um, Philippines are natural disaster prone. Yeah, it's right in the Ring of Fire. Um, so you do have that. You've got a major fault line that runs right through Manila, basically, and they're just waiting for the big one. Um, tax
Well, for
treaties.
me, the typhoons are really bad in they don't have the infrastructure, so the typhoons are really bad if you wanted to be right now in Siargao and Panglao and Bohol, Leyte, that whole
Anywhere right
side.
there. Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, I'm over in Thailand. Um, we're avoiding Korea for the typhoons, but typhoons are much much worse if you're in the Philippines than they are if you're in Bangkok.
Yeah, because they're the first landmass that these typhoons hit, and on average, the Philippines get 20 to 22 typhoons a year. That's a lot. If you're thinking about okay hurricanes, how many hurricanes hit the U.S. every year? maybe a half a dozen, you know, times that by 5, and that's what you get in the Philippines. So, and you don't have the infrastructure, like you said. Um, that's why living in BGC was the best. That's the best place to be during typhoons because all the power grid is underground. You don't have flooding issues. It's pretty easy to get through a typhoon, and it's not. It generally never gets direct hit with typhoons there. Um, Quality is low and the price is high. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Um, First time I arrived in Manila was like, what the hell is this place? Major culture shock. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the video when the first time I came, it was the and I didn't mention this in my video, but the first thing that hit me was the heat. As soon as you walk out of the airport, it's like walking into a blast furnace. It's just incredible heat. And then the next thing was the number of people, because I'm waiting to see my girlfriend for the first time. This was in 2015. The number of people they used to, I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to make them stand behind this gate on the other side of the street and they couldn't come up to the airport. So you see all these Filipina waiting for their foreign boyfriends to show up from the airport. And there's hundreds of them. It's crazy. It was so surreal. And then the fact that they're I, I just towered over everybody. And it's like, man, I can't believe how short all these people, every one of them are just short. And that was the biggest culture shock for me when I first stepped out of the airport. It was pretty crazy. We had 3 hurricanes in Sarasota, Florida last year. Wow, that's got to be a record, right? I mean, that's nuts. But yeah, so you're in Chiang Mai right now. So how you like in Thailand? Have you you been converted yet?
Well, I'm not converted, but I'm just trying to see. I'm open. I like to travel, even if I loved the BGC. I got a little bit bored there, so that's just my nature. It's not that the BGC isn't a great place to live, but um, I just like to travel around. I'm looking for places. I'm not converted yet. I'm still open though, but we've been in Hua Hin, Bangkok, Chiang Mai. Now I'm heading over to KL for a few weeks, but it looks pretty expensive. And I was going to
That's
go over to
weird. I hadn't
Georgetown.
heard that. I always thought KL was cheap. So I don't know.
I,
Yeah, you'll have to
I don't
let me
know.
know.
Some of our friends we know in
But your
common
taste
learned
is
me off.
you have a your taste is a little different than mine. You have a little your idea of an average place is a little higher than mine. I'm more of a simplistic minimalist than you are. But you have a girlfriend to impress, so I don't.
She's very easy. The first time we landed in Vietnam at
Wait a
a
minute, say that
hotel,
again.
yeah, she's very easy.
Okay,
Her very first trip,
her name is Clara, guys.
we landed
And
in
here's your number.
Vietnam in our hotel room. She just walked in, and it was it was I was trying to save some money in Da Nang, and so we had a little tiny window that overlooked straight at another building, and nothing special about this room at all. And she walked in, and she's like, "Wow, we could just live here forever," because it was it was just big enough. It was the size of her whole house in the Philippines, and
Right.
all it was a bed with a dresser, and but for her, so I
Well,
don't need to impress her. Anywhere
well, that
impresses.
that'll change. That'll change soon enough. You'll westernize her.
Yeah, probably. But yeah. Yeah, but I am trying to find places not on a budget travel. I'm trying to find places that I would actually live in. And
Hmm.
so and that's where I think Bangkok has uh, over the Philippines a huge inventory of places that are a little less expensive, but you still have really nice infrastructure and stuff. It may not be as nice as the BGC, but you've got all of Bangkok there. You don't
Right.
have to stay in the most expensive neighborhood to still have a nice city.
Oh,
Um,
and Bangkok's got a dozen neighborhoods that are just like BGC. So you got so many to choose from. So
but
that's what
yeah,
I love about Bangkok. So and it's so easy to get
but
around.
yeah, so I'm looking for that like BGC level neighborhood in KL, and it looks pretty expensive. Um,
Hmm.
The neighborhood you told me about looked pretty expensive, and
KL?
yeah. So I don't know.
All
We're gonna
right.
go there. We don't have tickets to leave, so we're gonna go look around and see if I can't find a livable neighborhood on my budget.
All right. You'll have to give me a full report. All right, Rigby, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Have a good day. Enjoy your mountain trek. All right. Later. All right. That was Rigby. Rigby and Claire is his channel name now. Sadly, if they ever break up, he's gonna have to delete all his videos with her in it, because otherwise, being Filipino, she'll have to, or she can she can tell him, give me that $883 fine. Anyway, all right. Let's see. So we've been on a little over an hour, about an hour and 12 minutes. So let's kind of pivot to another category. Let's talk about video content. We talked about that briefly, about doing interviews with other expats. Um, I thought about doing a thing where you guys um, pick a number between 1 and 50, and that'll be the, hang on a second. You can change your face with AI. Right. Someone needs to build a small resort outside of BK that has swimming pools and pickleball courts. Yeah, there you go. There's your calling. What? That'd be all you. I'll be your first customer. There's so much pickleball in Da Nang now, it's taking over. Yeah, that's what I heard. A lot of the tennis players are PO'd because their tennis courts are being taken over by pickleball players. So, but it's the wave of the future, I guess. Let's see. Hang on a second. I gotta tell Rigby something. Rigby, you better shut your camera off, otherwise I'm going to see something I might not want to see with you and Claire. Unless he left it on purpose. There you go. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, I took them out. Good thing I didn't have them still on screen. But there was nothing bad. Let me make sure you guys understand that. That's kind of funny. That's exactly right. They converted the court by my house from a tennis court to a pickleball court. Well, you know what? Whatever's popular, it's like eventually something else will take the place of pickleball, and they'll have to convert those courts too. Maybe tennis will get big again. I played tennis until, let me see, my youngest stepson, when he was a sophomore in high school, or maybe it was a junior in high school, he was number one tennis, number one singles. He played number one singles in high school, and I couldn't return his serve. It was so fast, and at that point, it's like I knew that my tennis days were over. It's like, it's not going to work. I can't see the ball well enough to play tennis, so I gave it up. I put the racket down and hung it up, and that was it. Never looked back. So we can do interviews. Like I said, we can do look at different areas. I thought about doing it, and you may not have heard this because my mic was bad at the beginning of the stream, but like I was saying, pick a number between 1 and 50 or whatever, however many stops there are on the BTS Green Line on Sukhumvit. And I'll start at the very south end and work my way up to the north end. And then you guys pick a number between those numbers, and then whatever that number is, that's the stop I'll stop at, and it'll be like a scavenger hunt. I'll look for at that stop, doesn't matter where it's at, I'll look for street food, apartments, condo rentals opportunities, grocery stores, malls, restaurants, bars, and I'll check all those seven items off at each of those stops, and maybe do a kind of like a video going around and checking all those places out. So let me know in the chat if you think that might be fun to do something like that. Maybe in some of these areas that aren't so touristy, like not necessarily in the Nana or the Asok or the Prompong area, but maybe something off the beaten path a little bit. So expat says, so the trade-off is you get higher quality at lower prices, but you have to learn the language. Yeah, so the language in Bangkok, if you're in the touristy areas, most of the people that you interact with speak English well enough to get your point across and understand each other. So if you're, say, like I was talking, in the Nana or the Asok area or Prompong or those areas, or if you're in the Siam area, most of the retail people speak English, restaurant people, bar people, they all speak pretty good English. So you're not going to really have an issue with that. So unless you get out, if you get out in the areas that aren't so full of tourists, like where I'm at here, off of in the Samut Prakan district, that little neighborhood restaurant that I eat at a week, once or twice a week, family owned. They don't speak any English, or very, very, very little English. So that could be problematic. So you just have to kind of understand. And my plan is to learn the language. I mean, I think everybody should learn a little bit of the language in the country that they're staying at. So that's my plan. I could speak a little bit. Oh, you already got the numbers going. 8 and 3. All right, let me bring up the map and find out where stop 8 and stop 3 is. Let's see. And then we'll see. This will be a trial run. We won't really do this, but let me get to. Wait a second. Let me share this with you guys. Move this over here. Okay. This is Bangkok. So let's get the green line here. So this is the green line. You see where my cursor is going. So if we start at the bottom, let's start at, so here's where I live, in Samut Prakan area. I live right over here. So let's start south of there. I don't want to go all the way. Okay, so green line starts, let's see, green line starts at, okay. You can start here, or actually we can start up here at, let's see, where should we go? Yeah, green line ends right here. So we'll start at Sao Luang. And then if we went by what, and he said 8, so we'll go up 8. So 1, Pak Nam is 2, which is Nam is water. I found that out. I'll never forget that now. Royal Thai Naval Academy is 3. Chang Irawan is 4. Then you got Phu Chau is 5. Probably over outside my door. This will be easy. Did I miss one? Oh yeah. I missed a couple here. Let me look here. Then you've got Bang Na. That's 6. I missed mine. I missed my stop. Where's my stop? Oh yeah, here. Samrong is 6. Bang Na is 7. And then Udon Soup should be 8. Let's see. Udon soup, where are you? On top. Udon soup is right here. All right, so udon soup would be 8. So if I took the udon soup exit, and then so I'd have 7 things to find. I'd have to find street food, groceries, good apartment and condo rentals, malls, restaurants, bars. What else did I miss? Maybe it's only 6. Street food, apartments, condo rentals, groceries, malls, restaurants, and bars. Yeah, 6 things. So that'll be on my list. So maybe we'll start at udon soup for my next video. I'll do that. See how that looks. What do you guys think? Think that's a plan? Think that would be kind of a neat video to do? Sounds pretty cool, but it sounds like a job on your part. Yeah, I don't mind. Well, I'm retired. What do I got to do? Have you had your first language lesson yet? No, it was too late because you have to have at least 6 weeks to get everything registered and get your visa changed over from your tourist visa to your ed visa. So I decided that when I leave I have to leave by August 1st. So I'm going to Vietnam on July 30th. When I come back here, I'll have 60 days, and then I'll register for my classes. And then they have to have so many people register for that class before they start the class up. So there's no set date that they start. So I'm guessing it'll be probably October, November before my class actually starts. But I'll walk you guys through it. I'll keep you guys posted on how things are going. So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see. But I think it'll be a good thing because it'll keep my mind, sharp. Having to learn that language. Okay, Evan. Thanks for hosting the chat. Take care. You too. Take care. I'll see you in a few weeks, hopefully. Mark says 7. We'll do that next time. Koh Chang is supposed to be a very nice island, accessible from Pattaya. Never been there myself. I've heard of that. I've heard it is. And it's a short trip by ferry to get over there, by boat to get over there. And I've heard it's a nice place. So that might be some place to check out. Mr. Wonderful, do you know whether medical tourism has been affected much in Thailand or the Philippines? I have not heard one way or another. This is what Philippine medicine did for my broken fingers. So you can see the problem is I broke them right here on the base. Those things, I mean, you can still see how it's indented, which is, I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. Because if you look at these, they're not. But the problem is, I think I jammed this knuckle on both these fingers, so now they're perennially bent, and I can't straighten them because it's been 12 weeks now, and I think it's too late to pop them out. So they didn't catch that when I had the X-rays and all that. So that's what happens in the Philippines a lot of times. So. Let's see, Rigby. I always come to Thailand for medical tourism, and the international hospital filled with Lambos and Ferraris and Middle East wealthy. Yeah, but you can go to the public or private hospitals here. The private, obviously, are going to be a little more expensive. Public ones are cheap, and still, it's the care, the service you get is very, very good. I've never heard anything bad about Thai medical services. I've never used them, knock on wood, but from everything I've heard, it's been fine. So, JJ, will be a good thing when you learn how to chat in Thai with beautiful Thai women. That and being able to eavesdrop on other people talking in Thai, see if they're making fun of me. That's the number one reason I want to learn. I want to hear if I'm haggling with someone at a market, and I want to hear what they're saying, like that cheap ass foreigner or whatever. You're skipping my post. I'm offended. What? What did I skip? What did I miss? Let's see. Hang on. There's the last one. Sounds pretty cool, but it sounds like a job on your part. Yeah, I mentioned that. Let's see. You can change your face with AI. Did I? Oh, I think I did miss that one. Yeah. So that's for Rigby. You can change your girlfriend's face if you break up and you have to leave the, you have to delete all your videos with her in it. Just change your face with AI. So I think that's the only one I missed, right? Don't leave. Mm, there you go. That's my kinder and gentler troll is what. um, anyway, what else is going on, guys? So it looks like my next video will be about Thai dating Thai women, and the red flags that Thai women see in foreigners that you should avoid. And then I'll try to do this one where I'm in Udon Soup in that area, trying to find these 6 different things in that area and do a video on that. See what you guys think. The last video I did, it was I broke it up in like 8 or 10 sections. So there was some heavy editing involved with that. But anyway, nope, maybe it's being blocked. Well, post it again. Let me see what you said, and we'll see. I doubt it's being blocked because I don't have an admin. I don't have anybody looking unless YouTube saw it and decided against it. So, in my opinion of hospitals in Thailand changed after watching the Steady Eddie channel. He was misdiagnosed in the hospital. Oh wow, was that in a Bangkok hospital or where was that? And what was his misdiagnosis? Do you recall? Interesting to hear that. But you hear about that all the time in the U.S. I mean, look how much doctors pay for insurance, malpractice insurance. I mean, it's crazy amount because you hear that all the time. There's always misdiagnosis, always things going wrong in operations. So it's not just here in Southeast Asia. So, but I'd like to hear more about that. I've never heard of Steady Eddie.
Let me know. Check. Resistance is futile. Is it better now? Okay. It defaulted back to my my mic, my default mic, which is weird. I don't know why it would do that, but it did. So, okay, good. I'm glad it's better now. So it's no big deal if JJ skips a post. He's only human, just trying to post. Just try to post again. Yeah, exactly. No better human-like. I could be one of the lizard people. You sound like Star Trek, the Borg. Yeah, that's it. That's me. How'd you know? A lot of electronic feedback. Okay. Hopefully it's fixed now. He lost me as a fan. If he's going to skip posts, come on. Resistance is futile. Way better. Good. Awesome. Good. It's better now. Good. Man, I just need to mess up my mic because I get more posts on that than I do on any other topic. So voice is clear now. I don't sound like a Borg anymore. Okay, good. I'm glad we're back because I wasn't ready to stop talking. It's only been an hour and 30 minutes, so I still got 1 cup of coffee left. So. All right, what else is on the menu, guys? What else you guys want to talk about? Let's open it up the forum, Q&A, whatever's on your mind. We've talked about tourism. We've talked about Philippines banning vloggers, basically. We've talked about videos, what to do with the next video, doing interviews with other expats. Is anybody that's on the live right now, are they in Bangkok currently or planning on being in Bangkok this month? Because I would love to meet up with you guys and maybe do an interview. That would be fun. I'll take you as a fan. What? Come on, can't we all just get along? Is this a normal rainy season? No bad storms past month, it seems to me. Yeah, it's the beginning of the rainy season, so it's going to gradually get rainier and be more persistent day to day, and having longer days, and you're going to see more monsoon type weather. Right now we're in the early months of the rainy season, so it's not so bad. It's not like, it seems like the Philippines, man, when rainy season hits, it just hits like that, and it rains every day. But here it doesn't seem to be so bad. We did have a really good rain last week, one day, and it was I mean, I saw local flooding. I did a short on it, saw some localized flooding in the area. So yeah, it can be pretty bad, but it hasn't been so bad. So what is selling in his time now? JJ into my generosity. What generosity? Have you hit the like button? What? Come on. If you haven't hit the like button, then you're not being generous. I've only got 7 likes. So come on, guys. 7 likes. We've had 101 people viewing this video at one time or another. So hit that like button. I'm showing my my stats, my live stream stats here, and it shows that I've got 10 on right now. I've got 8 likes, so somebody just liked. I've got no revenue. That's nothing new. No new members. Oh, by the way, I do have a membership. It's like 99 cents a month, and I've got like 10 videos on there right now, and I've got a new one that's going to post tomorrow, brand new video that only members can see. But basically, I'm just building my membership, and once I get it built up to a good number, then I'll start regularly posting new videos on there. But right now I've got three new members. So woo woo! But I just started it last week. So you're one of those 7 likes. Awesome. One of the 8 likes. Nope. $50, please. That's not a good investment for me on my part. Sorry. We lost power last month when it rained in Bacolod. We lost power for an hour in Chiang Mai. The one day it didn't rain yesterday. Okay. That's funny. Yeah. I have yet to experience brownout here in Thailand, wherever I've been. In the Philippines, other than BGC, it happens all the time. It's such a regular occurrence. It really got to be frustrating when you're not in the Philippines. Internet going down. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things that happens in the Philippines that wouldn't happen here. What's your second favorite restaurant in BGC besides the Roadhouse? Well, the Roadhouse was my favorite to hang out with the guys and on a Friday afternoon for Friday happy hour. That wasn't necessarily my favorite restaurant to eat at. So BGC, you've got all the Western restaurants, you know, the franchise restaurants. You've got the Chili's, you got Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden. What else? You've got all of those places. So really, I don't know if I have a favorite in BGC. Probably Krapao was a nice restaurant on just a small little Thai restaurant right there in High Street South, and they have Thai food. It wasn't like the Thai food here. I mean, it was good, but if you tell them I want it really spicy, it's still not spicy in the Philippines. They just don't know spice like they do here in Thailand. But it's pretty good, and it was cheap. You can get a good meal for 300 peso, which is $6, less than $6. So that would be one of the places I went to on a regular basis. Chili's is good. They have good, chips there, Chili's, and good food there. Their chicken wings at Chili's are huge. They're really good there, but they're kind of expensive. And then you've got all the franchise places: Olive Garden, Italiani's, Texas Roadhouse. So just take your pick. You don't have a lot of those here in Thailand. You don't have the Western franchises other than the fast food places. You've got Western food, but it's more like local owners that are bringing their Western food to Thailand. So I kind of like that better, actually. You are worth so much more. Yeah. Right. I know, Pizzazz, but most people don't understand. Well, I think he was talking about me, not you. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to leave now. Let me know if the next hour is better or worse. You'll have to watch the replay to find out. I'm not telling you. That's a secret. So anyway, okay, we're caught up on chat. Let's see, we're an hour and 40 minutes in. Let's go up to 2 hours. So let's go another 20 minutes. We're starting to, actually, we're getting more people on right now. So I think that starting an hour early didn't work out very well. We didn't have a lot of views, a lot of people coming on in that first hour. Plus the fact that I was having mic problems, audio problems. So that probably didn't help either. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because we're getting really close, like 300 away from 6,000 or 16,000 subs. So that would be very cool if we could get to that. Yeah, take care, What. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for giving me a hard time. Thanks for being that kinder, gentler troll. Everything you say, I take tongue in cheek, but you're all right. You're all right in my book, as long as you keep coming on, as long as you watch. Hey, we're up to 10 likes, so that's good. That's something to cheer about. Where are we at on our subscribers? Let me look up my subscribers real quick. See where we're at. Probably hasn't changed any. Yeah, we're at 15,699. So we're 301 away from 16,000. So I've had 736 subs in the last 28 days. So I figured that out. And if I keep averaging the 736 subs every 28 days, I should hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I should be over that. So, but that's 736 subscribers in 28 days. That's a tough number to keep up. So I'm going to have to really put out some good videos to keep those numbers up there. But there's my challenge to myself. I challenged myself to hit 20,000 subs by the end of the year. So I hear St. Louis on High Street is good food. My friends and Fat Seed Addicts, they're always, Fat Seed is a good place to eat, and it's cheap food. Banana Leaf, I don't know if Banana Leaf's still around. All of my favorite ones are getting closed. I used to love to go to New Orleans Jazz Kitchen and what was the one right next to it? Can't think of it. Anyway, those places were that was my favorite place to eat. But they closed down, and I was so sad to hear that. And then the other place I used to go on Forbestown in BGC was, what was it? Help me out, Rigby, where we always go for beer buckets every Friday. God, my mind is going. So I need that magnesium. Anyway, I used to go there all the time, and they're closed now. So where all my favorite places are closing. Maybe it's because I left. Maybe I was their only customer. Is Earn Lucky Girl like Filipina P in Thailand? She's getting there. She's not nearly as popular as she doesn't have the subs yet, but she's really building that. When the first time I interviewed her on my channel, she had like 5,000 or 6,000 subs, maybe not even that. And I was like at 10,000, 12,000. So I interviewed her, and then she got a nice bump, and now I think she's at 30,000 subs, something like that. So she's really going, but she does a lot. She live streams every day. Every morning she does live stream from her coffee shop. She opened up a coffee shop, and every morning she does live stream from there. So, but she's a sweetheart, but her videos are she's kind of shifted to dating in Thailand and dating foreigners, dating Thai women, Thai girls in Thailand. So that's kind of her niche now. She's really kind of niched down, really focusing on how to date Thai girls red flags to look at when you're dating Thai girls, what Thai girls look for, yada yada yada. But that's kind of what her niche is. So check her out if you haven't before. Earn Lucky Girl is the name of her channel. So she has a good channel. But she's a Isan girl. She's from up north. She's like a province girl, but she lives down here in Bangkok now. What else, guys? What else are we talking about? 15 minutes to go, and then I'm going to call it. Oh, we got Shar Pencil, the artist, is on. Good morning, Shar. Cher, I'm sorry. Thanks for joining this morning. I appreciate it. We've been chatting about, if you're just joining, we've been chatting about tourism in Southeast Asia being down in a lot of areas. What else? Oh yeah, Claudaddy's. That's it. Thanks. Claudaddy's was the other place next to New Orleans Jazz Kitchen. Great Cajun food. Great Cajun food. I loved it. They had their gumbo is really good. Their jambalaya is super good, and they have just really good food. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming on, Cher. Appreciate it as always. Phil's on. Good morning, Phil. Looks like all our regulars are coming on late, so that's good. We'll stay on as long as you guys are on. Tattoo is a big red flag. Yeah, me too. Especially, I'm not so big. I mean, I'm not a big fan of tattoos to begin with. I don't have any. But if there's little ones, like they got a little one on their shoulder or a little one on their, their back, just, the small ones that aren't so, prominent. I'm okay with that. But when their chest is covered with tattoos and they got them all down, they got sleeves and they got them all on their legs and their back, that to me is a big red flag. That to me is something that, and it may not be the case, but it just kind of looks, for lack of better use, slutty to me. But, so I'm sure, it's probably not meant to be like that, but I'm not a big tattoo fan on women. Fiery Style is the place down in Forbes-town. Thanks. Fiery Style is where we used to go on Fridays. They had the bucket of beer, cheap, and we used to hang out there, just a bunch of us. But since I moved, all those places have closed. So I'm happy to see you, my friend. Yeah, I'm happy that you're on. Appreciate it. When do you start Thai school? Is it possible to attend the school remotely? Some Thai. So I have a buddy here, Stephen. He's from Ireland. He lives here, and he's taking Thai lessons. And the school he goes to, and hang on a second. I got to look up the name of that, but he can do online, and he says they can do the education visa with that school, but I don't know that you can do online and do and be qualified for the education visa. I don't know that is possible. The school I'm at, you have to attend. They won't let you not attend in person. His school is Pro Language School. The school I'm going to go to most likely is called Sandee, Sandee, Sandee Language School, Thai Language School. You go there, it's like 2-hour classes a day for Monday through Saturday, but you have to attend at least 4 classes to be qualified for the education visa. But I'll start it when I get back. It was too late to get registered. It takes 6 weeks to get everything registered to be able to get your education visa, everything transferred from my tourist visa. So I thought, well, I'll wait, I'll leave, I'll come back in September, October, and then I'll get it done then. So I'll probably start classes in like October, November. But I'll keep you posted. Infinity Tattoo I think I lost video for just a second, but I think I'm back. Let me know. Let me know for sure. I prefer not to look at the same tattoo forever. Yeah. You want different ones? Is that what you want? Not putting down tattoos. My friends have them. That's fine. Yeah. I don't mind. I mean, small ones are fine, but when you start getting so many, that to me is a red flag. And the guy friends I've got, that have tattoos, I don't give a hoot about that. Yeah, Sandy Language School, SANDEE Language School. Yep, that's the one I'm planning on going to come October, November, whenever they register. So here's how it works. So you have to register, and then they change your. They give you you get a letter of certificate, and they get that ready to send to immigration. They do all the paperwork for you. It's all part of the fees, including your books and everything. And then they get you registered with immigration. They'll go to immigration with you, and they get your visa changed over to an education visa. Well, that whole process takes between 5 and 6 weeks. So when you come in on your visa-free entry, if you're one of those countries that you can do that for 2 months, then you can register right away, and hopefully you can get that done. Or you can, after you're here a couple of weeks, you can extend that visa to another 30 days. So you have a total of 90. And that gives you plenty of time to get registered and get your visa changed over. And then that's what I'll do. And then once I get that all changed over, then they have to wait and see. They register for your class, and then they have to wait until they have to have so many students. And I don't know what their minimum number is, but they have to have so many students before they could start that class. It's just a numbers thing that makes it, because they have to pay the instructor and whatever. So they have to have a minimum number of students enrolled, and then they'll let you know. It's like, okay, we've got our 10 or 12 or however many students. So we're going to start classes on this date. And then that's when things start. So that's what I'll do when I get back. I'll register for that. I don't think you can do an online language class for the visa. There would be a lot of problems for immigration. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm pretty sure you can't. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure you can't. Girl had her mom and dad tattoo over her right chest. Okay. Interesting. But you know what? If I'm a guy, I wanted to put my parents' tattoo on my chest, I guess that would be okay. But I don't know. That would be kind of weird. If she was your girlfriend, you're making love to her and you're staring at her parents. But that's, my mind works in odd ways. So I bet he ain't any smarter after a year of schooling. Oh, come on now. I'm already smarter than the average bear. So there's a guy from Dublin that has a YouTube channel based in Bangkok. Yeah, I'm not sure who it is though. There's a lot of YouTubers I follow or I watch their videos. You're back. You stopped only for a few seconds. Okay, good. Alpha Omega occasionally is the channel. Alpha Omega occasionally. Okay. That's the Dubliner guy. I'll have to check him out. Alpha Omega occasionally. Interesting. He's based out of Bangkok? Is that what you said? Yeah. Okay, cool. I have not heard of him. So he doesn't come up on any of my recommendations, which is so weird. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but it's so random. Sometimes I'll get like, you hear about all these YouTubers that have millions of subscribers, like Mr. Beast or Cutie Pie or whatever those guys are, but I never see video recommendations for them. Of course, that's probably a niche that I have no interest in. So that's probably why. He's married in Bangkok. I assume he's married to a Thai, right? Sandy Language School, answer my question on their FAQ webpage. Yeah, they're very quick at responding. And I got on their line, which if you guys aren't familiar with a way to communicate with anybody in Southeast Asia, if you're in the Philippines, WhatsApp is huge there. That's what everybody uses. If you're in Thailand or even Vietnam, Line, 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 get that app and register with that, because that's what everybody uses here is Line. So they have a Line number. So you can use that and they get back to you almost instantly, as long as it's not like in the middle of the night or something like that. So question, if I am outside Thailand and I want to apply for an ed visa, what is the process? You have to register with the school first. I do know that. I'm not sure of the entire process, so I'm not going to tell you things I'm not sure of. But I know in order to get an education visa, you have to register with the school. You have to pay up front, and then they will get a letter of certificate that is kind of an authorization that you're actually going to school there. You're registered for classes there. And then you have to submit that paperwork along with your education visa request paperwork to immigration. The easiest way to do it is come to Thailand on a visa-free entry, 60 days if your country allows that, and then just go sign up, pay for your fees, and they get all the paperwork done for you, and then they help you. They hold your hand through the whole process. So that's the easiest way to do it, rather than do it before you come here. But I'm sure there's a way to do it before you come. I'm just not familiar with all the details on how to do that. So I couldn't really answer your question, expat. Sorry. He gives out a lot of good information. Okay, I will check his channel out. Quoted from the FAQ. Okay. Sorry, JJ, that was a quote from the school's FAQ. What was the quote? This quote? If I'm outside Thailand and I want to apply for an education visa, was the process? Okay, did they answer? Did you ask that question on their FAQ and did they answer you? I guess that's what I would be interested in hearing. Harvard offers classes in Bangkok, so that's a choice to consider. Harvard, yeah. You're a funny guy. Are university fees higher in Thailand? Well, the language courses are different than just going to university. So I don't know I have no desire to get another degree. I've got 2 bachelor's degrees. I had started a master's degree when I was living in the US, but never finished. And I have no desire to get another degree. I just want to learn the Thai language. So I don't know what the fees are if you wanted to, what the tuition is to go to a regular university in Thailand to study here, to study a degree here. I would imagine it's higher if you're a foreigner than it is if you're local, just like it would be if you're going to a state college in the US and you're not from that state, you're probably paying out of state tuition costs. So I would imagine that's probably a little more expensive to go to school here. But for me, I just want to learn the language. That's all I want to do. And the cost to go to Sandy School for the 8-month, which is level 1 and level 2, there's 3 levels total. But if I did all 3 levels at once, the cost, it'd be 14 months, and the cost would be 33,000 baht, which is about $1,300, something like that. Maybe not quite that. Well, about $1,000, a little over $1,000. But that does not include your visa fees, because you have to pay every 3 months. You have to renew your education visa. So if you're in for 14 months, then you got to do 5 visa renewals, or 4. You do the one up front, and then you got to do 4 renewals, and that's 1,900 baht every 3 months, which is about $60, $60, something like that. So you're paying that. So the 14-month at the Sandy School is 33,000 baht. I'm going to do the first 2 levels, because if I fail, I don't want to be stuck with level 3 and not being able to finish and paying on extra money. I'll pay a little extra to get level 3 after I'm done with the first 2 levels. So the first 2 levels are 8 months, and that's 23,000 baht, which is about just under $700. So I'll pay that, and then what you do is those 8 months, you got 3. Basically, you have 3 extensions. So that's 1,900 each. So you pay those extensions, and then when I'm done with that 8 month in level 2, the lady I talked to when I went to the school, she said, you can go to level 3, and then that would be an extra 15,000 baht, or another $450. Or if you want to take level 2 again, if you're not comfortable yet going to level 3, you can take level 2 again, and you pay the same. So that's kind of how I'm going to, I'll pay a little more overall, but I'll be safe in that if I fail completely, I'm not out the total amount. So that's my plan. That's my mad scientist plan. So we'll see how it goes. So, okay. That question is a quote, and they answered it. Okay. So gotcha. No problem. No problem. Definitely LaSalle is that Das Marinas really has exorbitant fees akin to universities in the United States. Okay. De La Salle. Okay. I don't think you can get a normal degree for an education visa. It has to be a cultural class, Thai cooking. Actually, you can but you can't do it if you're over 50, I don't think. You can go to a regular university on an education visa, I think. But you have to be approved by the university. You have to be enrolled. You have to be accepted. There's probably a lot more issues, a lot more obstacles you have to jump through to get a regular university degree. I remember when Rike was talking about taking electives to meet Filipinas. Oh, Rike, you freak. Oh my God. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. Don't get me started on those things. Okay. So we're caught up on chat. We're just over 2 hours. So let's keep going because we still have 9 on. So we just lost somebody. 12 likes. So if you haven't liked, hit the like button. And we've had 131 views total so far, which is cool. That's awesome. I'm looking at my live stream. My live stream views here. My analytics. So we talked about education now. Boy, we've really hit the gambit. We've talked about a lot of different subjects. Let's see, Dave. So do you think there's any reason to take Tagalog lessons in the Philippines, except for what Rike was saying? Well, I was planning on learning Tagalog, or maybe even Visayan, because the 2 girlfriends I had, I dated a lot in the Philippines, but I had 2 long-term girlfriends, and they were both Visayan. They were both from the Visayas. I was planning on taking Tagalog, but when you're in BGC, when you're in that bubble, everybody speaks English. So you get lazy, and there's really no reason. So even when I tried to speak Tagalog, like if I'm at a restaurant or a bar or something, and I'll say "Salamat po," and they'll say "Thank you," they'll respond in English. So it's like, what's the point? So you get kind of lazy as far as learning the local language in the Philippines, and it's so. I mean, pretty much everybody speaks Tagalog in the Philippines. That's kind of the language that everyone learns. But there's so many other dialects in all the islands in the Philippines that it's so hard. But I don't know, if I lived there, and if I didn't live in BGC, I probably would have done it. I probably would have learned, not for the reasons Rike suggests. I think Rike just left. I don't think he was really on. I'm sure he doesn't care about my little channel. Are you still going to do reactions to other YouTubers? I think, I thought about that, but then I'm reading. I was watching this content creator channel last night. He's based out of Chiang Mai in Thailand. Him and his brother do a live stream every Saturday night at 8 o'clock Thai time. And I was thinking about doing that, but they're starting to take channels down for posting content from other channels if it doesn't how do they put it, if it doesn't add to the original content. So just putting it on and reacting to it, I don't think that's a good enough reason to do it. So I don't want to get my channel taken down. So I think I'll wait until I get a little more clear picture. I still might do impressions of other YouTubers on my membership page. That would be kind of fun. If I can get a good number of YouTubers, Sick Grandpa would be easy. All I have to do is get a real close up of my nostrils and say bro every other word. Like, oh, bro, you're a loser, bro. You're a loser. You went to Dumageddon. That'd be super easy. There's others, but I'm thinking about doing that maybe. We'll see. We'll see if there's enough public outcry for it. That would be a lot of work to meet a Filipina when anyone landing will have an Insta Philippines girlfriend options. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good question. Let's see. I love learning Tagalog. I just do it with apps, YouTube, and my Filipina girlfriend. Yeah. Yeah, it could be risky. Filipinos light up and love to hear you talk Tagalog. Simple phrases and security guards or store stuff or family will mob you with laughs and smiles. Yeah, it's like that here in Thailand. I mean, if you talk to a Thai person, I think I mentioned this in another video or another stream. There were a couple of Thai ladies that were emptying the trash the other day, and they were at the front gate, and I'm walking by, and I say, "Sawadee Kop," and they just lit up. It's like, they're pointing at me like, "Oh, he speaks Thai." It's like, it's so funny, it's so cool. But I can say certain phrases. I can ask them how they are. I can say "Sabaydi Mai," and they'll return with "Sabaydi Kop" or "Sabaydi Ka" if it's a female. I can tell them how I want my food, whether I want it, my ped, which is not spicy, Nidnoy, which is a little spicy, Pedmak, which is really spicy. I can tell them that. I can say certain things, but I can't continue a conversation. I can't go do a back and forth because I don't know enough of Thai, and that's why I want to learn. That's the biggest thing, just to learn more Thai. Hard to believe Sick Grandpa has an insurance business. Does he? I don't know anything about him. All I know is I saw a video of his way back before COVID. He was living in Texas, I think, and he had blonde hair, and he was super pro Trump, and he was doing all this MAGA stuff, and he was out there and just going ballistic. And I can't even remember what he was talking about, but all I remember is like pro MAGA, pro Trump, somewhere in Texas, I think. Might have been Florida, but I think it was Texas. And he had blonde hair. It's like, oh, you look more like Barney Rubble then than you do Fred Flintstone now. Sick Grandpa stays at some very expensive hotels. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. He says he does, but he must have some money. In Bacolod, I asked the Starbucks staff, and they said English without accent is easier to understand than Tagalog. Tagalog is the fourth language to them outside of Luzon, Manila. The fourth language. What are the other three? In Bacolod, they speak Ilonggo. I know that. I don't know if Visayan is a language they speak there, because I know in most the rest of Negros they speak Visayan. I'm not sure what they do. I know Ilonggo is the language they speak in Bacolod. So different. Just the dialects are so, and part of the reason why is because the history of the, being an archipelago island, back when languages started, they weren't visiting other islands as much. So they all had their own little nation, basically. on their own little island. So they were creating their own languages, and finally the Tagalog kind of took over as the main language of the Philippines. So, but I don't know how many hundreds of years ago that was. It's interesting. Philippines is an interesting country for sure. Definitely interesting. All right, we're caught up on chat. I could do Mike and Arlen's Philippine journey. And I like Mike. I met him when the one and only time I went to Angeles City, I met him. Had breakfast with him, breakfast or lunch at, I can't remember where it was, some tequila sunrise place or something. But he, if you know who Mike is, he's the older gentleman with bald head, and he does videos from his bedroom. That's where his studio's set up. But he'll start every video as like, "Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Let's talk about tourism. Let's talk about it." That'll be his Tequila Reef. That's what it is. But that's his shtick. He starts every video like that. "Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey." Let's see. "My girlfriend didn't want to go to Dumaguete because she spoke Tagalog and didn't want to interact with Visayan people." Isn't that weird? They have that almost I don't know. That's weird that they don't they don't like to talk each other's language. It's kind of odd. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I guess I would, if I were going to live there again, I would learn Tagalog probably, because you can pretty much speak Tagalog anywhere. But I think Visayan is probably the second largest language that I know of. But there's so many. What did I read? There's dozens and dozens of different dialects in the Philippines. It's crazy how many different dialects there are in the Philippines. It's such an odd country in a good way. All right. Let's see. We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes. Let's go a few more minutes. If anybody else had any questions, feel free to jump on chat. Make sure you hit that like button. We're at 13 likes. So 139 views total. So not bad. I'll take it. And let me see. We're still sitting at 15,699 subscribers. So having 300 away, almost a little over 300 away from hitting my 16,000. So that'd be kind of cool to hit that before the end of July. That'll be my goal. Hit that before the end of July. Let's see. Got some chats here to catch up with. Let's do this first. In Bacolod, I asked the Starbucks staff, and they said English without accent. Oh, we already said that. Okay, sorry. My girlfriend didn't want to go to Dumaguete. We went through that. There's definitely snobbery in the Philippines, Manila versus Cebu especially. Wow, that's cool. Sorry to take away from Thai talk. No problem. No, this is open forum now, so we can talk about anything. John. Hey, John. Okay, JJ, let's hear you do Sick Grandpa's sister, Heidi. Oh, I can do let's see. I don't think I could do Heidi. That would be a tough one. I'm not good at doing female impersonations. But we'll see. We'll see. If I do these impersonations, it's a form of flattery. So I hope they don't take it the wrong way, because Sick Grandpa, I watch his videos because it's entertaining. He's the he trolls all other video all other vloggers in YouTube, especially the ones in the Philippines. It's fun to watch. It's kind of funny. So, and he's easy to do. He's he's so unique. Mike and Arlen, Mike's Philippine journey. He's easy to do. He's unique, but he's a good guy. I like him a lot, and I watch his channel a lot. Heidi and what's her husband's name? The Filipino guy. Let's see, what percentage of meals in have you converted to Thai food, not your old recipes from the USA? I don't understand. What percentage of meals in have you converted? Meals in? You mean, have I cooked here? Actually, I haven't cooked anything here because I don't have any utensils. I don't have any cooking utensils. I just have plates, bowls, spoons, forks, glasses, cups. I don't have pans, pots, or anything like that here. They didn't supply. So I'll wait. I don't want to buy anything because when I move at the end of October, if I move into a condo that has those, then I'm good to go. If not, then I'll buy it then when I move, and then I'll start cooking. But I've cooked Thai food before. Not a lot, but I've cooked a lot of Asian food. Before I even got my YouTube channel, I used to cook a lot of Asian food when I lived in the US, and I do videos on that and show them on my Facebook. So I would say 0% because I'm doing 0% eating in my home, other than like I ordered pizza from Grab last night. So I had some Pizza Hut. By the way, Pizza Hut pizza is not the same in Asia as it is in the US. So if you're ordering pizza from a franchise, US franchise in Southeast Asia, you're not going to, if you think you're going to get the same thing as you do in the US, you're not going to get it. It's different. Not that it's bad or anything, but it's just not the same thing. So it's hard to find good pizza in Southeast Asia. George, yeah. So George is here's the thing. The thing is that's what here's the thing. So I'd have to, I haven't watched their videos for a while. I have to rewatch just to get an idea. Why are you fighting with me on the live stream? I thought you said we were not going to do that. Yeah, exactly. And then they mute their mics and they're arguing. I think that's why people watch for the most part. People watch to see them fight. It's like if okay, this is going to I'll try to think of something. This is going to age me. It's like if Archie Bunker met Maude, and you have those two A-type personalities, and they're married to each other. That would be, or better yet, Archie Bunker met Roseanne. Archie Bunker and Roseanne. That's kind of what that's their dynamic. But it works for them. So yeah, they need to keep doing that. If they ever got along on camera, they probably lose half their audience, because I think that's why a lot of people watch. They want to see the train wreck. So, but that's their shtick. I think they do it on purpose. Meals out at restaurants. What meals out at restaurants do you eat? Thai food instead of Western food? I eat both. I'll probably eat Thai food about half the time and Western food half the time. Maybe Thai food more than half. Maybe I would say a little more than half the time it'll be Thai food. The rest of the time it's Western food. If I get too spicy, and Rigby, you know how I love spicy food. Sometimes I'll go overboard on the spice a little bit, and then I'll pay for it the next couple of days. So I'll back off on my Thai food and I'll start eating some Western food. Yeah. Just joking, Heidi. Yeah. Yeah. Just joking, Heidi. We love you. George looks very anxious lately. They argue a lot. Well, I've been watching their channel. To be honest, I haven't watched them since I moved out here, like 8 months ago, so I really watched them. But when I watched them before, ever since I started watching them, they've always argued. So, but there was a short period of time where he wasn't even on the channel; it was just her. So I don't know what for sure what was going on with that. So, Yellow Cab Pizza, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Yellow Cab Pizza is okay. Let's see. I don't know if they have that here. I think they do here. Let's see what else. In the Philippines, they've got some pizzas that, well, I like SNR pizza in the Philippines. That's about as close as you get to Western style pizza. You know, U.S. style pizza is SNR pizza. George, no, 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 yes, yes, no, no, yes. What do you have to do? Yes, no, yes, no. You have to understand. What you have to understand is that's good. Entertaining in a very strange way, like Jerry Springer, I guess. Yeah, it's like watching a train wreck live on YouTube. I'm having paella for lunch. Paella? I don't know what that is. Is that a Philippine food? It all went south when they got involved in drama. You know what? But that's when the channels started booming. That they first started doing those. I think that when they first started getting into drama about I think it was when Every Man Has a Story, when he got in the fight at Ground Zero in Dumaguete, and there was a big blow up about that. That's when they started doing the gossip stuff. And that's when their channel actually blew up. I mean, every time they started talking about gossip, and then they got into the regular guy thing and all the issues with that, and they were gossiping about that. And then it was World Zoom when he got arrested, and they were talking about that. Their channel exploded after that. And they went from, like, I don't know, maybe 6,000 subscribers to, like, they're over 20,000 now. So that gossip channel thing that worked out for them. I mean, they found their niche and they took off with it. And I liked them before all the drama nonsense, but you know what? It worked. So, you know, you are in trouble with Claire for saying we might break up. I recommend groveling and begging forgiveness while she is listening. Otherwise, you might not want to eat the next what? You're the one who has to. You have to grovel. I don't grovel to other people's girlfriends, and I haven't eaten any of her food anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Spanish dish, rice and fish, mussels. Okay, try it, and you'll definitely get it in Bangkok. Okay, I will. I will try that. There's so many great restaurants. International restaurants all over Bangkok. It's so full of great food, and I love street food too. Street food is amazing here. I never get tired of it, really. I've got a few places I go to a lot. I was just at Jod Fairs, the new location. They closed down the old one, which is sad because they had a really good chicken place. They had really good fried chicken there, but they closed that down. The new one doesn't have it. I haven't found his booth, but they have some really good food there. Claire heard you say we might break up. I recommend groveling and begging forgiveness before eating anything she cooks for you. Well, she hasn't cooked for anything for me, so I'm not too worried about it. I said if you guys break up, you'll have to delete all your videos, or she may go to the barangay and get $883 from you, 50,000 pesos from you. So for having her face on your videos, that's all I said. So it was all in jest, Claire. So anyway, let's go about 7 more minutes. That'll get us to the bottom of the hour, and then we'll wrap things up. We've gone through a lot of topics today, but it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy these Sunday mornings. This is fun. Although I'm always really hungry when I get done because I don't eat breakfast before I start the stream. So I'm ready for lunch. So I'll probably go next door to the to the mom and pop, the family-owned Thai restaurant right next door, and get me some, I don't know, maybe some pad krapao or something like that, some pork krapao. What else, guys? Before we wrap things up, what else is going on in your lives? I got a kink in my neck. I need a Thai massage. That's what I really need. 300 baht in Bangkok along Sukhumvit for a Thai massage for an hour. That's a decent price. That's about $10, less than $10 for a massage, for a 1 hour massage, less than $10. How much is a massage in the US? It's not $10. I'll tell you that. And Thai is known for their great massages. So I might do that today. I might go down, get me a massage, go down on Sukhumvit somewhere. That's my agenda today. Don't forget got a new video posting tomorrow morning. I think it's tomorrow morning. Let me check, make sure when I have it posted to debut. I got a post. Yes, I got a post that's membership only. That's posting tomorrow. That's on visiting upscale Chitlom area. And then I got a post visiting for everybody tomorrow morning at 7 that will premiere. It's called The 12 Biggest Mistakes Foreign Men Make with Thai Women. So check that out. And that's on I've got those in the can ready to go tomorrow. And then I'll go out and do my videos this week, try to get a couple more ready to go. I'll try to go to Udom Suk and do that video looking for those 6 things, street food, condos and apartment rentals, restaurants, malls, bars. What else? You guys remember what else we were going to talk about? What else I was going to look for? I got it written down here. Somewhere. I will be looking for street food, apartment condo rentals, grocery stores, malls, restaurants, and bars. I might add medical care facilities, hospitals, or things like that. That might be a good thing to see if something's close by. To see if it's a good neighborhood or not. So Udom Suk will be my first stop, first video I do. So let's see. A Thai massage in Ireland is 60. What is that? Euro? What is that? Pounds? Well, I don't know what the currency is there in Ireland. But what does that amount to? It is a great price. Ho Chi Minh City was $60 for an hour everywhere or more. $60? 60 US dollars for a massage, an hour massage in Ho Chi Minh City? Are you kidding me? That's nuts. Euro. Okay. I don't know what the conversion is. 60 euro. That's about 50 US dollars, I'm guessing, something like that. Maybe is it more or less. 60 euros, 70 US dollars. Oh man, that's expensive. That's crazy. The one thing in Vietnam not to do, massage, is the only thing expensive in Vietnam compared to the rest of Southeast Asia. I didn't think it was that expensive in Da Nang, was it? I didn't get any massages in Da Nang, but I was thinking it wasn't that expensive. I thought it was only about $10 or $15 for an hour massage in Da Nang. That was probably a happy ending massage. Yeah, Rigby. Did you tell Claire that was a happy ending massage? He's not going to come on my lives anymore. Oh, geez. Okay. Okay, we're going to end it. That's probably a good place to end it right there. Thanks for coming on board, guys. I appreciate it so much. You guys make my Sunday, make it a lot easier. So we'll talk to you next Sunday, and then look for my videos tomorrow and later this week. And as always, live life, my friend, and we'll talk to you again later. Bye-bye.